Now, if you ever wanted to know how Lyon food tastes in this little bistro, well, this video is for you because today we are replicating one of Lyon's classic recipe called the poulet au vinaigre, aka chicken in vinegar sauce. Let's have a look how to make it. Look at these beautiful ingredients today. We're doing the poulet au vinaigre, a typical bistro recipe from Lyon. Poulet au vinaigre means, of course, the chicken in a vinegar sauce, and these are the ingredients we're going to be using. So on that area I've gathered all the acidic product. We're going to have the white one. This is a white burgundy, Macon village, very important, very fruity. It's from the region, not far from here. We got some red wine vinegar and also the tomato paste, or if you want the fresh tomatoes. For the aromatics, shallot, onion, thyme. Usually that recipe uses tarragon. I could not find some, so I'm going to be a bit wild and use again a little bit of sage that I had left, and to decorate a little bit of parsley. Of course, on here, the homemade chicken stock. The cream, to really make that creaminess to the sauce, that's very, very important. And of course here, the beautiful chicken I got from the market. Now, of course, all the ingredients will be listed in the video description. So food prep. The parsley is going to be done at the last minute. Chop your shallots, chop your onions, and you peel. You can remove the germ of the garlic, and of course you detail your chicken and you have all your liquids ready to go. Now, done with the food prep, the first step, we're going to season our chicken. As the first thing we're going to cook, I'm using here Himalayan salt, because not all the salts have the same kind of salty power. Some salt, like the Himalayan, does not salt too much. That's what I like to use for this recipe, and a grind of pepper, both sides. And now, cooking the chicken. So we're gonna color the chicken. So I'm using a nice thick pan here, and I'm using a mix of butter and oil all together. So don't be scared to use enough butter. A lot of time it's like people don't want to use, but you can always remove the excess if needed. So the pieces, skin first. We're just gonna give them a little bit of color. So that dish is a kind of an easygoing dish when it comes to cooking a chicken. Now you don't brown everything to death. We're just gonna pre-cook the chicken a little bit to give a slight blonde color. That's all it needs. We are done. As you can see, not much color, and I'm gonna take my chicken and reserve this in an earthenware pot that I've got here. So all the pieces of chicken in a separate pot. My chicken has been reserved. Immediately I'm gonna add all of my shallots and my onion, and of course the garlic that removes the germ. And we're gonna make the whole lot just wet. So you're gonna reduce your heat on really or rather low heat, and we're just gonna wait a few minutes to have our mix of onion, shallots and garlic to get a little bit translucent. Look at this. This is not burnt. Very important. So when we say low heat, there's no brown, there's no color, there's no anything going on, and this is what we want. On top of that, look what I'm gonna do. You see this? That's the chicken liver. In France, when you get a farm chicken, you get the giblets as well. And we're gonna use this in our sauce. So just for 30 seconds on each side, and turn it, and then I'll remove it, and we'll start adding the other ingredients. My chicken liver is done. This is optional, by the way. I take it out and put it with my chicken. Next is the tomato paste. You can use fresh tomato if you want. And we're gonna cook it with the onion to remove some of the initial acidity. So just for like 10 seconds, I'm gonna mix this well with my onions and garlic. Beautiful. You can now add the vinegar, and that's going to be a deglazing. I'm going to raise my heat now, and listen to this. That's what you want to hear. It's chanting nicely, not too much, and that's going to detach all of the taste that resides at the bottom of the pan. So we're going to leave this to reduce until we get a kind of a syrupy vinegar. Okay, so that took me about 3 minutes on high heat, and look at this. What do we mean by syrupy? Is this kind of consistency, you see? You see how it sticks to the spoon? That's what I mean by a syrupy mix. So from here, we're gonna add the wine. 2 good glasses of white burgundy wine. And the second one. Once you add the wine, obviously what's happening is this. Everything stops boiling. So again, back on a high heat, and we're gonna bring this to the boil. As soon as your wine boils, you're gonna leave it to boil 1 or 2 minutes to remove the alcohol content in there. After 3 minutes, you're gonna add about 500 ml of homemade chicken stock. So I'm using glasses here. Once my stock is in, I'm gonna add the thyme, my little leaves of sage that I've got, and a grind of black pepper. Ideally you want to use black peppercorns and just throw maybe 4 or 5 in there and to raise the taste. And we're going to bring this back to the boil. Beautiful. So my mix is boiling again, and now we're going to gently add all our pieces of chicken back in the pot. Okay. And we're going to reduce the heat to a simmer, and we're going to cook gently our chicken. This is the cooking process of the chicken, and this is where the exchange of flavor is going to happen. So first we concentrated the taste in the chicken by seating it a little bit in a hot butter, and now by simmering it in a liquid, which is a bit like the braising technique, and that's going to allow for the acidity to go through the chicken, and in exchange the chicken is going to give its chicken taste to the sauce. So it's a good exchange of both flavors. For the cooking time, that varies depending on the thickness and the size of your chicken, usually anything between 15 and 25 minutes. And you can cook your chicken like 3/4 of the way. So I would say you can start with 15 minutes, check your chicken, otherwise do 20 minutes, and you have to put a lid on. After 20 minutes, this is what you get. It's been simmering, and look at these beautiful colors. And the first thing you're going to do is taste to see what the preparation is about. So already you can feel the acidity has been toned down really a lot, and the chicken taste is now present in the sauce. But of course, now we need to remove everything out of the pan. Alright, so let's take a clean spoon, if you taste, of course, and then we're going to remove the chicken and reserve it in another pot, like I've got in my earthenware. And the beauty of that dish is that you can make it beforehand, and you leave your chicken covered on the side of your stove, because we're going to warm it up afterwards. So once your chicken is out of the pan, it is now time to make the sauce. Now the sauce, of course, is a reduction of these acidic products mixed with double cream. So first off, you need to put your heat on high, and then we're going to start to reduce the base a good 10 minutes to concentrate this acidic flavor. After 10 minutes of reduction, it's time to add the cream, and this is the time that is also important, because at the moment the sauce is very acidic. It's very vinegary, but you want to keep the acidity in your sauce. So when you add the cream, don't put too much. And people put up to 400 milliliters of cream, but I'm just gonna start with like half a glass, then mix my sauce, and then taste the sauce. And it's very important. So I'm starting to add some of the cream, then taste. Okay, it's still pretty acidic, so I can put the rest of my... So I'm putting here 1 glass of double cream to start with, and I'm going to reduce that further and see how I'm going. Look at these colors. Now as you can see, I've added more cream. I've started with my first 200 ml of cream. It was way too acidic, as planned. I wanted to make sure. Then I've added now the extra 200 ml, which is the sweet spot. I'm going to now leave these to reduce nicely, so you can coat my spoon, and we want to have that coating consistency. If you want to have the sauce less pungent, less acidic, I will push this to 500 ml. Now if you want an additional step to do, is to use the chicken liver that I've mashed up, and I'm putting this in my sauce, and that's going to give a new edge to the taste of the sauce. So chicken livers included in the sauce, it's part of the chicken, so there's nothing wrong to add this. I'm going to stir everything in and keep on reducing the sauce. After 15 minutes of reducing my cream, look at this, this is ready, and it's now coating the spoon. You see, you can see a big clean trace there. That means it's ready. So at this stage, there's 2 options of what you can do. Or you can turn the heat off, keep the sauce, and just wait until you're ready to serve your chicken. Alright? Because this is something that can be prepared in advance. If you're ready to serve, this is what you need to do. you've got your sauce, you're gonna reduce your heat on a very gentle simmer, and you're gonna put back all of your chicken pieces to warm them up. And you're gonna coat them in the sauce and leave them to warm up, not cook, but warm up. And as soon as they're warm, you serve. And that's what we're gonna do next. Now, the chicken is ready, but before we serve, put the additional touch, of course, we need to taste that thing. And I really want to know what it's all about. So, my chicken, as you can see, maybe slightly overcooked because of, I'm filming at the same time, so be careful when you cut the breast. Chicken breast is really my favorite. So this is the sauce, how thick it is. Just cover this in sauce. And of course, I'm gonna do the plain vanilla tasting to see really what it's all about. So a bit of the sauce in there. It's really interesting. So you first have that creaminess, like a nice creamy chicken to start with. You know there's an acidity, but you don't feel it immediately. It doesn't jump at you. But when the cream dissolves, as you eat the chicken, then you've got that beautiful acidity, nicely balanced, that comes in the background. Beautiful. Well, I was about to really plate that thing in a nice way, and I thought to myself, you know what, this is really a casual dish, this is a bistro dish. And it really struck me that just like that, it doesn't look bad. So the addition you would have, usually it's chopped tarragon, which is not something I've got today, but in a bistro, what you're gonna get, is a nice dish like that, a little bit of sprinkle of parsley or something else, and you have your dish. But anyway, that completes the recipe tutorial of the week. I hope you liked it, and the chicken in vinegar sauce, beautiful dish. And remember the key techniques we learned this week: the lightly sauteed chicken, no coloration, the reduction of the acidic base mixed with the cream, and you need to get that balance right. If you have any questions or comments, use the comment section below. You can follow me also on Instagram with the hashtag French Cooking Academy, and if you want to become a patron on my Patreon page, that will be absolutely amazing. Don't forget to come back also next week for another bistro recipe. Is gonna be absolutely beautiful. See you all then. Take care. Bye bye.